Assalamualaikum and a very good evening to Miss Hidayati and my friends. So today, my group will be present Chapter 6, which is HRM Strategy and Analysis. First of all, I will introduce myself, which is I am first presenter. My name is Azano Azmira binti Mazlan, matrix number I18203222, and my group mate, which is second presenter Muhammad Salihin. Without wasting our time, I'll continue my presentation. Okay, so we go to the next slides. So this is the subtopic that we have in this chapter. The first one is the management planning process. Second is strategic planning, and then corporate strategy. And next is competitive strategy, and the last one is functional strategy. Okay, I will cover the management planning process and strategic planning. So we go to the next slide, which is learning objective. Okay, this learning objective I take from HRM textbook Pearson. Okay, so the introduction of this topic is strategic human resource management can be defined as the linking of human resources with strategic goals and objectives in order to improve business performance and develop organizational culture that foster innovation, flexibility, and competitive advantage. As we know, every organization always have their own mission, vision, and objective. Okay, so in organization should have a strategic goals and objective to have a successful organizational. And then if an organizational do not set their mission, vision, and objective, maybe the company will be not in strategic way. So every organizational should plan what to do to improve business performance and develop a good organizational culture. Next subtopic, which is the management planning process. Okay, management planning process, there are two things, which is the first one is the hierarchy of goals, and the next one is policies and procedures. So we go to the first subtopic first. The first subtopic is the hierarchy goals, which is in company, it is traditional to view the goals from the top of the firm down to frontline employees as a chain of hierarchy of goals. As usual, the president should be on the top of hierarchy. Okay, as we know, every company has their own department. For instance, HR department, production, marketing department, and so on. So, every department should have their own presidents to be a leader to guide his or her, what we call that, such as anak buah. So, the residents should be advised to set goals for their units that flow from and make sense in terms of accomplishing the president's goal. Okay, so the next one is policies and procedures. Policies and procedures provide day-to-day guidance employees need to their jobs in a manner that is consistent with the company's plans and goals. Policies set broad guidelines delineating how employees should proceed. For example, it is the policy of this company to comply with all laws, regulations, and principles of ethical product procedures spell out what to do if a specific situation arises. For example, any employee who believes this policy has been violated must report this belief to the employee's immediate supervisor. If that is not practical, the employee should file a written report with the Director of Human Resources. There is to be no retaliation in any form. Employers write their own policies and procedures or adapt ones from existing source or both. For example, most employers have an employee manual listing the company's policies and procedures regarding various HR matters. Okay, so this is a sample hierarchy of goals diagram for a company. And if you have a textbook, you can see at page 94. Okay, so we go to the next subtopic, which is strategic planning. So this is the management planning process that I take in textbooks. Okay, we go one by one about this step. The first step is ask, where are we now? Okay, I give an example about Apple's offers a wider and growing product line, including at the moment computers, iPhone, iPods, and iPads. Vertical integration is a second factor that distinguishes one business from another. Here, the basic equation is to what extent should we design, manufacture, and sell our own products. For example, Apple designs and markets its products but lets China's Foxconn manufacture them. It sells both through Apple stores and through stores like Best Buy. Okay, then the second step is size up the situation, perform external and internal audits. The next step is to ask, are we heading in the right direction given the challenges that we face? To answer this, managers need to study or audit the firm's environment and its internal strengths and weakness. And the third step is create strategic options, which is the situation may require that management considers strategic options for the company. Several years ago, for instance, Microsoft, facing a surging product lineup from Apple and competition from Google's cloud-based Office programs, had to decide whether to change its mission and if so, how. Should it continue to focus mostly on software for microcomputers? If not, then one strategic option was to expand into offering its own tablet computers. Okay, we go through the next step, which is review strategic options. It is given the situation which strategic option should we pursue. Here the manager compares his or her strategy options to see which are most consistent with the firm's opportunities and threats and its strengths and weakness. Okay, step number 5 is make a strategic choice. Here the manager must finalize strategic choice. For example, after reviewing its competitive opportunities and threats, Procter and Gamble opt for a strategy of building oil of only into a top-tier brand, one competitive with the likes of L'Oreal, and Microsoft introduced a line of tablet computers. And step number 6, which is translate into goals. Next, management translate the new desired direction into actionable strategic goals. And step 7, which is implement the strategies, which is strategies execution means translating the strategies into action. This means actually hiring or firing people, building, which means or closing plants, and adding or eliminating products and product lines. To do this, management used the firm's new top-level strategic goals to formulate a hierarchy of goals and policies and procedures. This guide action down the chain of command at lower organizational levels and in the firm's various departments. So for the last step, which is step 8, evaluate performance, which is things don't always turn out as planned. P&G soon built its oil line into a world-class brand. However, initially, at least, Microsoft new tablets were off to a slow start. Microsoft soon cut their prices. That's all from me today. I'll pass to the next presenter. Thank you for lending me your ears.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Salihin bin Abdul Latif. Metric number Y102859. So I will continue for the next topic, that is type of strategy. So let's start with the first one, is type of strategy at each company level. So you can see there is three types. The top one is the corporate level strategy, and the second one is competitive strategy, and the lowest one is functional strategy. So let's start with the corporate strategy. There is a main purpose of your business. This strategy is implemented at the highest level of the company. A corporate level strategy can be instrumental in planning your company goal for the following year. So you need to break down all steps and make it clear for your employee the path they are supposed to take. So this strategy is to identify the portfolio of the businesses. They in total comprise the company and the way in which these businesses relate to each other. So the second one is the competitive strategy. Competitive strategy is identifying how to grow and strengthen their business in long-term competitive position in the marketplace. Also can be defined as the long-term plan in a particular company in order to gain competitive advantage over its competitor in the industry. It is aimed at creating defensive position in the industry and generating a superior ROI that is return on investment. So the competitive advantage, which means any factor that allow company to differentiate its product or service from those of its competitor to increase market share. So the last one is functional strategy. So there is the level of the strategic planning. There is to identify what each department must do to help the businesses accomplish its strategic goal. So basically, the functional strategy for any business, large or small business, focus for achievement of the goal of the skill and abilities of individual department and their employees. In other words, functional strategy in short-term plan for achieving one or more goals for businesses by one or more functional area. So that's all for me. Thank you for listening. I will continue for the next slide.
Okay, so the conclusion of this topic is effective strategic management requires effective human resource management. Strategic human resource management implies how HRM is crucial to organizational effectiveness. An ongoing effect is required to unravel the mysteries of SHRM that holds the promise of being a powerful tool to manage human resource in the environment of fast-paced changes that organizations are experiencing today. The conclusion of this topic is effective strategic management requires effective human resource management. Strategic human resource management implies how HRM is crucial to organizational effectiveness. An ongoing effect is required to unravel the mysteries of SHRM that holds the promise of being a powerful tool to manage human resource in the environment of fast-paced changes that organizations are experiencing today.